All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. What we're doing today is we are doing a comparison between these four thermals. Okay, as you guys know, I got a newfound love for thermals. I've been using them a lot, and there's so many valuable things you can do with the thermal, from animal recovery. No, I do not use one hunting. Some people do, and if you're legal on private land and you can use them for coyote predator hunting, for hog hunting, for night hunting, for coyote hunting, I get it. I don't have that luxury. I don't hunt private land. I am on a public land hunter, so I cannot use them for hunting, but I can use them for animal recovery, and I do, and I love them for that feature. Plus, there's so many other things you can do with these things, especially around camp, in the woods. You can take them out, have fun with them. You can take your family out and scan with them at night or even during the day, but I mean, there are amazing things you can do with these things. I love the thermal aspect and the security aspect of it too. I hear something outside, it's dark out here. If I hear something out there and I don't know what's going on, I just poke my head out the door and boom, I can scan and see anybody moving around or anything happening out there. They're just very, very handy to have, and they come in great, even under my house. Okay, we've got two spots in my house which are lattice, and sometimes you'll hear something, what is that under the house? I can go out there and put that thermal right in there and look in there. Oh, it's a kitty, a little baby kitten, you know, kind of thing, and I can see that really easy. So very handy to have thermals. I love having them. Not to mention they're even good around your house to be able to see where leaks are, where cold air is coming out, where you're not insulated well enough, how hot your electrical outlets are running, all that stuff. Thermal's it. Thermal's amazing. We have four of them here that I have. Okay, this one I bought with my own money. These three were all given to me by companies. So we're going to compare them. So what we have first, we're going to go over these, then I'm going to show you, because I did a very controlled environment test and shot images between each one of these and a video between each one of these in different scenarios for you to see for yourself, because we got a big variance. First off, as far as stuff we got on here resolution wise, right here, this is the AMG, this is the Micro TM160. Okay, this is a 160 by 120 resolution camera by AGM, and it is a excellent camera, or excellent thermal. We bought that. It's our first one. Okay, simplest, lowest quality resolution. When I say quality, I mean quality, but I mean resolution one that we have on a table. Next up is the GT Hawkeye. Okay, this is by GT Guard, and this one right here. Now this is a 256 resolution thermal. I'll give you all the specs on these, but it's a 256 that is actually AI upgraded to a 384 through AI, artificial intelligence. Kind of interesting, very cool, very neat system. We'll talk about it. We have the Topdon. This Topdon TS004 is a 256 as well too, so it's a 256, what is that, 256 by 288, 256 by 192 is what they are. Both of these are 256 size sensors. This one also being AI upgraded, but it doesn't tell us to what. It doesn't say like AI upgraded to a 384, just tells us it's AI upgraded. Now, then we have the AMG, the Taipan version 2 in a 384 sensor. This is the only one on here. It's a 384 by 288 sensor, is this dude right here. Now, each of them have their own unique features, their own bonuses. We're going to cover some of that. Notice that this one has a rubber band wrapped around it. That's because I've used every one of these a lot. This one, it has my complaint, the diopter knob on the side right here, it wiggles around a lot. If you carry this in a case like this, in a pouch, you know, you seal up like this, and you carry this, and you want to carry it on your belt or on your pack or anywhere you want to put this, or hang it by the thing right here on there for any purpose, when you reach in to grab this, that diopter gets bumped and it gets knocked out of whack and it gets annoying. By putting that rubber band around it like that, the diopter never moves now. It's locked in. It doesn't move at all, so now it's perfectly set. Each one's got their own kind of little quirks like that. The Topdon, awesome, but this cap is on there, it will pop right off pretty easy. Even by wearing this around my neck like this, if I bump this the wrong way with my hand, I'll knock that off. So I have a piece of tape holding it on. Since I put that piece of tape on there, it never comes off whatsoever. Each of these have their own little concerns, and these are the two I bring in the field. This one I did too, and this one body-wise, honestly, this doesn't come off very easy. The diopter's rock solid on it. It's ultra light. This is still removable, which is nice. I can take that right off. I mean, there's a lot of great features on this one that I didn't have to do any mods to at all. This one I don't take in the field with me. I could, but this has no armor on it, so it's something you kind of got to take into consideration on there. But this one, this will come off too, but not as easy. But watch, you'll see what I'm saying. Here, I can take it. Look at, see? I guess this one does. Comes off just as easy. But that's all it takes to pop these caps off on these couple of them, which is a pet peeve of mine. Even if I put that on there good, make sure, but all it takes, if that's hanging there and I rub that, okay, and it, look, and it's gone. So that's why I taped that one on there. So each one has little quirks and things like that. Now it's okay. Like I said, we're still reviewing this one here, but so that's why you see some of these little mods. I'm okay with those. They're not bothering me much at all. So that's the setup. Now, each of these, when I carry them, they do usually come with their own case. Like here's a case that the Topdon came in, something sweet and easy. And this one I leave in my truck a lot, or I have been. Again, we'll see how that goes now that I got these other ones too. But this just drops right in there like that. I seal it right up and I'll throw it in a cup holder. Works perfect. Okay, so you have cases that these work in. What I found I like best in my backpack is something like this. I like these. What these are water bottles. These are for your hip pouch. These are for water bottles, to put any size water bottle you want in there. And then right here, but you can take your thermal, this one I carry in here, drop it right in, wear this on your belt or whatever. And like I said, just give this a quick cinch and boom, and it's sealed up. And I'll throw this right in my backpack, just like this. It just keeps it protected, keeps dirt and everything out of it. Notice I don't even have my lens protector or my lens protector on the front like you have on here. I don't even have that on this one. I don't want it on there. This is the one I use all the time, and it's set up for me to run how I want to run it. So that's how that's done. But these little, your regular Amazon, these are like $9 each, but they're a water bottle holder, goes on your belt. They work perfect. Another thing you can do is if this was something I had for an old flash. This will fit this right in here perfectly, just like that. Seals it right up, and then it's just protected to throw in your backpack if you want to. So any of that kind of stuff works. They all do come with some sort of a bag or something to use as well. Now, when we look at these, let's talk about some, you can see the size differences on here. They're all pretty close to each other in weight kind of considerations. And I have a review on every single one of these individually. So you can go see the full details on each one of these. I will review or link them all at the end on there for you for a review, so you can actually see them on this at the end of the video. Let's talk about some of the specs. And like I said, I will show you the details of each of these. When we look at these as far as sensor size, because that's how most things are considered, we have a 160 by 120, the lowest resolution that we have here, and it's noticeable. You will see it on the video. It is definitely noticeable lower resolution. We have a 256 here, 256 by 192 that is AI upgraded to 384. Okay, AI enhanced. And then we have our Topdon one here. This is the 256 by 192, also an AI enhanced. We don't know how far that AI enhancement goes on this. And then we have the 384 by 288 true resolution in this AMG, the Taipan version 2. Now, each of them also have a different field of view and a different magnification slightly. You will see that in the images on there, so they do vary. And most of them you can get that way. Like you can get this in a 15, a 19, or a 21. That is how far out they will reach. So I'm not listing distance of identification and distance to be able to identify a person and recognition distances, because they vary again, because you can get any one of these in a 15, 19, or a 21 or whatever they are. So, and again, I have a variation on here. So that would be an irrelevant number to these. Refresh rate, how fast that screen refreshes for you, where it's going to go and it freezes up and then it refreshes. That refresh rate on here, 25 hertz for refresh here. This one is 50 hertz, 50 hertz. This one is 60 hertz, it says. So you get a little quicker refresh rate on that. Battery power is vitally important. Battery power for us, again, in the field is vital. And on this one right here, battery-wise, we got a 10-hour. Here we got an 11-hour. Here we got a 10-hour. Here we got a 6.5-hour. However, This is a 18650 battery in here, and it is removable, so we can open this up and pop our thing out, and we have a battery right in there that we can pop out and replace with other ones. So I carry 2 other batteries in my pack with me, so this is technically, even though we're calling it a 6.5 hours, you know, if you carry 1 extra battery, you're coming in at 13 hours. 2 extra batteries, you're going, you're going to almost 20 hours. So I really love that feature on here. Having a replaceable, removable battery. Love that option on here. They all have tripod sockets. Every one of them has a tripod socket in the bottom where you can mount them on a tripod, cakewalk easy. Storage-wise, internal storage for your photos and videos is pretty interesting in here. This one comes in at 8 gigs. This one comes in at, I should move these position-wise just because of how I got my list wrote, but this one comes in at 8 gigs, 32 gigs here, 32 gigs here, and then when we get here, we're at 16 gigs. So 8 and 16, both these are 32s. Zoom range. This one here being the one that is ultra wide, very, very wide in its view. You get a 1, 2, and a 4 zoom. And really, 2 and 4 are pretty worthless. So it's a pretty wide angle one. It does a good job, but it's pretty wide. This one here, the Topdon, gives you a 1, 2, 4, and 8, and it does a great job. And it is also it's not wide like this in the beginning. It's in a little tighter and zoomed in a little more. Like if this is like a 0.5 what your eye sees. This is about well, actually, let's call this a 1x magnification. The rest of these are all a 2x magnification to start with. So you'll note these 3 here are very similar. This one, ultra, ultra wide. And but so we got a 124x, we got a 1248x, a 1248x. Here it's even though it's the same, they call it a 24816, but it's really the same as these are because of the fact of where it lies in it. You'll see that in the images. All of them will let you hook up a phone and run an app and actually watch what you're seeing through here through your phone. You have that in these. You also have the picture-in-picture in these 3 right here that'll do that, so you can see it wide and have a zoomed-in little picture-in-picture in every one of them. And burnout protection is in these 3 right here too. I don't know if it's in here, I couldn't find, but that's basically where if you happen to just move and turn and hit right at the sun glowing right into it, it won't burn out the sensor. They have a protection feature in them. Price-wise, here's where we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Okay, here's where we're getting down to the business on prices. So, realistic MSRP price on the website, they do not have it on this one right now because they're sold out. Therefore, AGM doesn't show the actual number on their website. Street price of this one, $300 to $500. Not bad, but the worst deal of everything we have on the table. Okay, it's expensive for what this is when we consider that this one right here has a MSRP on the website of $449 and it has a street price everywhere of $389. $389 versus somewhere between, on average, $350 to $450 for this one. This one is a whole different ball game compared to this. You will see that in there. Each one has their pros and cons, but this one here is coming in at $389 street price. This one has a MSRP of $459 on the website with a street price of $250 to $450. Very good. Okay, and this one here has a MSRP of $1395 and coming in anywhere from $1100 to $1200 on the street price. So you're looking basically, if we were, let's call it even at the lowest end that we're finding, $300, $389, $250, and $1100 where these are coming in at. And we have 160 resolution, 256 upgraded AI, 256 upgraded AI, 384. So you can see the differences in here. And again, each one has their own little features and stuff to them, which we put in separate videos. I'm not going to go through them all here because of the fact that it would take forever because we got this other stuff we got to get into. So we're going to show you footage in a minute. Now, my impressions, my personal impressions in what I think on them, I think they're all excellent. This one here, like I said, is the lightest weight one. You can see it's basically the smallest in size, comparatively. It's as little as it gets in here size-wise. And, but it is, for the amount of money that this one costs, I think these blow it out of the water for the same price. So there's the downside to this 160. Now, it was great when I got it. And when I bought this myself, I bought it, remember, if you guys remember, I got it for like $200 from AliExpress at the time. So it was a steal for me and a great option. But like I said, that's kind of where this one sits at and puts it kind of out of the mix. Between these three here, right here, this one is really cool, especially because of the viewing center in here. You'll see that in the pictures. I'm assuming it'll show up in here. But this one here has an actual full round display. And I wonder if it'll show you that through here, if you can see that on here when it comes on. I don't know if that'll show through the camera. I know it'll show up in a picture, but let me see here. Let's see if it'll do it. Hold on, let me fire it up and see if you can see that in there. Okay, it's a full round display all the way through that whole, wherever you are, through that whole display, which is full round, which is nice. This one also turns off really, really fast. So when we hit this, it's going to say shutting down. Boom, here goes 1, 2, 3, and it is gone. Done, quick and fast. So does the Topdon. This one here turns off really, really quick. We like that feature. But now if I turn this one on, you can see here it's more of a square. Watch when it lights up. You're going to see it come on here somewhere pretty soon. I see it in there. Can you see it in there? Okay, but see how that's a square? It's not round. See the size difference of that viewing port in there? And being a square shape inside of there, a true actual square, it's a little bit different than that other one. So that's something to think about. But both of these are quick 3-second shutdown, which is nice. These are 5-second shutdown ones, but again, you just hit it and let it go. But these are fantastic features. But now, so we took this one out of the equation. We're at these three. This one, I love this eye cup. Squishy, big. This one works great too. I got zero complaints on any of these eye cups on here, but it is neat seeing that big round huge display inside of there. I like that feature of this one a lot. When we put these into comparison, this one being out of the game because it's a higher resolution, these two being so close in price, I do believe that this one here, the price makes this rock solid because you can get this for $250. This one's $389. Even if you found this for $350, they're pretty close, but this one's got a lot of deals. You see a lot more deals price-wise on it. Makes these two pretty dang close. Now, their size difference of this is huge. This one here is even a little tougher to fit into my water bottle case to drop into there, but it does work 100%. It's just right at the top. I mean, it's just like I said, it's a little bit taller, as you can see, and this one doesn't have any armor on it. All these other ones have got some kind of, armor type coating. This one here is just straight plastic. So there's something there to be taken into consideration, but this one's got a lot of pros and cons to it. These are both fantastic options for the money. For the price, these two are hard to beat. This one I absolutely do love. Okay, there's a lot of great things I like on this. This one also has a flashlight on there, which is, how do I hit the flashlight? Which button was it? The mode button. But you see it's got a flashlight on the front of it, which is kind of cool. Neat little feature. I do not like that the lens cap is non-removable. Looks like it is connected on there. Maybe underneath there, if I pop that off, maybe. We'll have to look. Let's check. Nope, it's buried up in there, so it doesn't come off of there. But I'm going to end up, if I keep using this, I'll cut this off and just leave it separate. Again, I don't have the time or energy to keep dealing with this thing on the front, and I don't like it flopping around on there. So for me, those would come off like I took off on this one. But now notice here too, one thing that's unique, we'll get to that in a minute, but basically these two here, absolutely excellent for the price range. Between the two, if I had to pick, I would pick the Topdon because of the fact that it has got the smaller size and we still have the 10-hour battery. Everything else is so close between them. Now, this one does offer more focusing options on it, okay? You got a diopter adjustment there. Your diopter adjustment here is this whole tube comes in and out, so you have that. But this one also has a focus ring on the front, like what this one does with an external focus ring. So it's kind of a nice feature that you gain on there. Like I said, both of these offer a lot of options for them. And I think it basically, for me, it boils down to the smaller size of this Topdon one, the size of this being smaller wins. But again, this diopter on here too, if I start carrying it a lot in a case like this, has the same problem this one does. So this will have to have a rubber band put around that as well too, because these diopter wheels are so easy to just roll real simple. And if that gets bumped, when you look through it, it's all blurry. So you have to literally hit it, and then you got to take your finger and try to adjust, or your finger here and roll over here, and you got to adjust this again every time you pull it out of a pocket, which is why I have that rubber band on here locking this one down. So I pull it out and don't have to. Otherwise, I pull it out and I take my fingers and I got to adjust that again. It gets very, very annoying. This design is piss poor. Okay, this design where this doesn't lock is horrible. Even on this older one, listen. Okay, it's indented and pretty solid. That was a good design. This free float design on these things sucks. I mean, that should be lockable. There's no reason for that to be that easy to constantly turn when it's so big and bulky and sticking off on these. And I'm not just knocking that one. This one here, $1,400 thermal, same problem. This should be locking. Pop out to adjust, push in to lock, and let it not do something. Make it right. This is a problem. This is a real problem. Hence the reason I have that on there with the rubber band. Because if you're sticking it in and out of a thing and grabbing it, it's going to get unadjusted. This one does not have that problem. The adjustment is here and here. So it's a win for this one. These two are so close and so hard to compare, but I do love the size of the Topdon. I like the simpler size of that. I like the screen of this. Like I said, these two are tricky. These two are right there neck and neck with each other. Both do a fantastic job. And I'm not talking the quality of the images and stuff yet. You'll see that in a minute. But these two are very, very good. This one here is my favorite, but it's also expensive. So I can see where that's hard for a lot of people as well. Now, it's not expensive in a thermal world. We're only talking $1,395 MSRP. You're looking at $1,100 street price. That's pretty dang cheap for a thermal today in the world of things where these are getting up to $6,000, $8,000, $10,000. It's not that expensive at all. It's only 384, resolution compared to the things that are out there now. But it is higher end and as high end as I have. But I do love the fact that I have a focus ring on the front if I want to for farther out and closer in things. I do like the replaceable battery on the door right here. The battery is brilliant. And I like the modes in it, and I like the setup, and I like the size. And it feels just really good in the hand, and I really am impressed. I like the eye cup. Does not pop off like these other ones do, like these do, like I showed you, where it just pops right off. I like the build quality of this one is very robust and very well done. So, in my opinion, they all kind of have their pros and cons, and you can't go wrong with any of them. The only one on the table that I think is not a good, smart buy is this one, and that is because they're still charging $500. They want $300 to $500 for this thing in most places, except for, like I said, I got mine on AliExpress, but they want $300 to $500 for this, and it's not. It is not going to be at that level that these are, and these are the same price, same ballpark price. This one, you'll see it in the video. It doesn't have the capability anymore for the price that these ones here do. These are great, but this one here I straight up love, even though I got a rubber band around it. But I'm very, very happy with it. Like I said, this is just feels more substantial, feels more quality made, and it's there and it's got the features. Now I also love how recessed in that lens is, how deep it is inside that housing. I don't worry about that so much. This one also tucked in pretty deep. We like that feature on there. Okay, this is important features to think about. This one here, same thing, tucked in pretty deep. So that's really good. That is what we're after. This one here, super teeny tiny and way up close to the surface. Okay, not tucked in there, but look how small that objective lens is on there, that outside sensor. Okay, very, very small comparatively. I mean, you look at that and you put it compared to this one, look at sensor size in there. So pretty crazy. But again, that's what it comes down to. 160, 384. So there it is right there for you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the computer. I'm going to show you these images in this controlled setting to video the stuff that we did, and I'll walk you through it as I show it to you, and we're going to let you see for yourself what you think is what. But like I said, realistically, taking this guy out of the equation, which we mainly put in there for reference, these three right here, phenomenal. This one, little bit more money, worth it, 100% in my opinion. These two, neck and neck phenomenal. Now, that's on the things we're seeing here. Let's jump in the computer, see how they all compare to each other as far as resolution, quality, and that kind of stuff. Because this is a true 384. This is a 256 upgraded to we don't know what. This is a 256 AI upgraded to 384. Let's go see what we find in there. All right, so here we go. We got some pictures of these things to look at. Up here we got the AGM 160, the GT 256, the Topdon 256, and the AGM 384. You look at this. This is set under 1x position, so this is as zoomed out as they can go. You can see ultra wide on the 160. Pretty tight on the GT 256, and then pretty good on the Topdon and the AGM 384. This is from about 16 feet, 17 feet away in my house there. And you can see some of the details. Look at the beadwork on this over here that's heated up by the light right here, taking on a little color. See a difference between 386, 256, and 384. Notice it's gone here and completely, you can see it a little bit here, but you can see the difference. This is on each one of their lowest power settings. Remember, on the AGM 384, on mine, 2.0 is number 1. Okay, zoom 2 is 1 because of the ratio on it. So, and then this next one we're going into, here's my dog. We're zoomed in on my dog sitting on the couch. Here's the AGM 160, which we had to go to 4x. I don't know that the zoom wasn't on this one, the number up there, but there's the GT 256. And again, I don't know what level it was. We just zoomed in. Here it is with the Topdon 256 and the AGM 384. And this is zoomed in 2 times, not 4. Remember, that's it goes 246 or 248 16 on that one. So that's kind of where we're sitting at on these, but you can see the difference in the detail on these kind of things. So and then the next one we'll go to here in a minute, but notice how these are all blurred out. You're losing all your detail in these ones here. Here you're getting that detail in there. You can still tell what they are, that there's something there, but here you can't even tell what that is. Here you can't really tell what it is, but you can. The Topdon, you're starting to idea what it is, and then here you can actually see the dog. You can see the face, you can see everything, and you can see that extra heat coming off, radiating off of the actual dog. This one here, this is Tina standing in my doorway, shot down the length of my house. I have it basically... This is a mess because these are all set at their closest or farthest out zooms, except for this one. I mistakenly had it on 2 zoom, which is 4 on this one. So forget the 384 in this one. Just compare these 3. But this is as far out as that'll zoom, far out as that'll zoom, far out as that'll zoom. Look at the difference in the details between these. Still, all 3 of them will do their job perfectly, and they identified Tina as a woman here standing there, but... Notice you can see the differences in everything going on around it here and how we're starting to lose detail. Here we got pretty good detail. We're zoomed in tighter, or not zoomed in. This is as close as the camera, or far out as it'll zoom, but you can see the detail. And then here you can even see more detail. Look at the curtains and things like that. So you can see they're all doing a really good job. Look at here on Tina and the breakup of the actual thermal zones. First, the blending of the thermal zones here. This is zoomed in 2 power on this one, and you can see again that detail in there on that 384 for it too. And now we're about to go to another one here in 1 second, which we will dive into. And here we go. Now this is zoomed in tight to kind of show this face type thing. Here's the 160. Very blurry, you can see, but you can still tell there's an object there and it's a person. 256, the GT Guard 256, doing a pretty dang good job as well too. And then the Topdon, really kicking it up a notch and doing fantastic in here. And you can see all the detail in this. And then here's the 384, rocking the detail. Look at the background on here. Look at how nice and sharp edge and how well all this stuff is doing. And you can even see all the features in her face, where here you can just see a couple of them. Here you can't see any of them. Here you can't see any of them either. You can see the differences. Look at here. You can almost not even identify the gap between her arms being held out. Here you can. Here you can. Here you can. Look at the detail and the sharpness inside of these corner pockets on the 386, the wrinkles in the shirt. Look at the wrinkles in there. You can see the difference is happening here. The necklace line, the hot spots on the chest. You can really see the difference. Look at her face here on the 384 versus these 256s. So the 384 definitely shows this difference. And you can see the differences here between these 3 zoomed in there. Now, next one we go to, we're going to go outside in a minute. But this one here is now holding Tina in the same doorway, shot whole length of my house. Zoomed in close to see here, 4x on this one, but you can see, you can't tell that she's holding a dog in this 160. You can see something going on there, but you don't know what it is. Here you can actually see that she's holding a dog. and it's there and it's good. We do not have any facial details in this one or anything like that, but here we do. We're starting to get a little bit of facial detail in here and some definition. Here you can, now you can see as my dog's blurred here because he was moving, but you can see the detail, more detail in Tina's face. You can see the detail in the dog. You can see all the hot spots through the fur. You can see all the detail that's coming into here and identify what this is. You can see Tina's cold rings. These are rings on her fingers that are cold. Rings on her fingers that are cold here. They're gone here, and obviously get nothing in here. So you can see the detail in this stuff, as well as seeing that this is true real resolution and this is AI generated. Smooths it out a lot. See how smooth that is? And that's not a bad thing on either one of these, but further out that might blur out and blob out more like it does here versus details. This one outside, this is standing from about 18 yards away on as far out zoomed as it can be. Here is a 1x on this one, a 1x on this one, a 1x on this one, and a 1x, even though it says 2, remember, it's a 1x on this one. Again, look at the detail in these here, especially between these two here. You can see it's just really blurry. It's starting to get further away and it's starting to blur things together. You can't even tell that's a dog that she's holding. Here, now it is tighter because this is a, you know, smaller field of view. It's in tighter on a 1 setting, but you can clearly see the dog perfectly, all the detail of everything and that kind of stuff. Face is still blurred out completely and that kind of thing. When you come over here, you can start to see details in the face, better definition in the hot and cold spots on the pants and on the dog. And then here, the resolution just blows out of the water. Excellent. And even look at a cat. Here in a 256, you can see the cat. Look at a cat here in a 384. So these two are doing really good. These two are doing great too, but these ones here are really rocking it, and that 384 is kicking butt here. You can definitely see the difference in it. Now this one here, this is all the way across my road. We're about probably 35 yards away. Still zoom 1, standard mode, okay? Zoomed out as far as we can be. Here you can see what's going on. Here you can see what's going on here, as well as see that cat. Here you can see that cat in here too, but look at the definitions of the house. Gone, no siding visible. You can see it here a little bit coming in. Here you can see it good. Here, look at here. Look at the detail here. Look at the cold and the hot spots on here. Look at, you can still see definition in Tina's face pretty good here. You're getting a little bit here. So you can see the resolution on a 384 is much higher, but this Topdon's doing really good, and that GT Guard is holding its own and being right here too, especially for when you look at the money stuff, and you got to consider the cost factor of this. $1,100 street price. I don't remember what we said on this one for street price. $389 street price. $300 street price. You got to take that in consideration. This one much more expensive at almost $500 street price. But you're seeing the difference here. Now we're about to get into some video stuff. Two of them kind of jump around and get kind of weird. The 256, but they also are the ones that have AI. I don't know if it's because of AI or if it's because of something. Now here's real speed, and then I'll do a slow motion. But see how this gets wiggly, and then this one is gonna too. But again, I don't know if that's AI generation because I'm moving and they're AI generated. But these are those same ones. Now here I slowed it down 50% so you can kind of see the difference in the videos. Now I'll move them around, but you can kind of just get a feel for it and see, and you can look at the detail in the backgrounds, see all that stuff, identify what it is. So this is going to give you that idea of real-world controlled environment scenarios so you can pick and choose from this. So that's what we got, and we'll be